a good job with their skeleton and the way they maneuver around the outside of the ring. For me, there's one that's maybe just a little bit smoother in the way he puts it together, has a little more quality from the side profile. Young lady with the cross is going to be my champion. Congratulations to you.
Class 1 medium wool, I need you in the holding area. Class 1 medium wool, into the holding area. We're looking for 353 Avery Cheshire in the holding area. Results of Class 1 Breed 1 Southdown Fine Wool and Fine Wool Cross. Your champion goes to exhibitor 346 Bailey Cheshire, Magnolia West FFA. Your reserve breed champion was 345 Savannah Cannon Willis FFA. Third place was 347 Jacob Pena Willis FFA. Fourth place was 349 Kylie Sudholm Lake Creek FFA. And fifth was 348 Blake Pena Willis FFA. First call for Class 2 medium wool. First call, Class 2 medium wool. Move to the holding area. This is Class 1 medium wool, weight range 124 to 136. Exhibit number 350 is Aaron Mack, the Woodlands FFA. 351, Tristan Gage, New Caney FFA. 352 is Woodrow Knox, New Caney Jr. FFA. 353 is Avery Cheshire, Magnolia West FFA. 354 is Haley Higginbotham, the Woodlands High School FFA. 355, London Johnson, New Caney FFA. 356, Madeline Rodriguez, the Woodlands FFA. And 357, Carter Barracks, Splendora Jr. FFA.
I'll tell you right now, I'm pumped up. You guys are going to bring some heat today. I can tell. Class 1, you got them dialed in the way you do. And throughout the day, we may disagree a time or two, but I promise I'm going to try to be fair to the kids, number one, and try to be fair to y'all on the outside on what I see in the sheep. And I think that this is an outstanding set of 3 up here, guys. I think they're all really good. And the sheep that the young man brings us, in terms of one that proportionally, when you get from the side, I like the way he progresses from the bold shape he has in his forerib back into a soft flank, and you read one with that kind of smoothness in his top line and still drops a really big turn to the base of his stifle. Generally speaking, I like that one silhouette, and I think we'll find some later that maybe even put it together to a higher degree, but that one's got the right kind of silhouette. You wrap around and you get your hands on him. He's big and muscular in his back. He's a sheep that's powerful, especially down to the base of his leg and how much twist he reads with down low. I guess I could change his upper hip and square him up in his pin setting a little bit, but I like his rib cage. I like his balance and his shape. Outstanding job to that young man. I think this pair here, guys, is really close. And I think the difference is the true width and dimension that the one in second has in terms of squareness down low, squareness through the chest, his chest floor, and how he progresses back. He's a bigger back sheep. He's leveler and better in his upper hip. He's got more width and spread to his pins, and I think that general dimension is the overall advantage. I wish from a comparative standpoint that he had a little more balance or relationship from his chest floor back into his flank. He's a little bit what I would describe as square in his rib cage and how it goes back. It doesn't have that soft transition back, but I like his width and stoutness over this one in second. Now, or this one in third. Young man, you have an outstanding weather. I think he's really good. Probably patterns closer to the class winner. My thing about him, he's so good in his top line. He's so good in how he handles his structure out on the move, and he gets out and kind of floats around the outside of the ring. Really good on that. For me, I guess where I get critical of him is I spin around from this vantage point. He just gets a little bit closed up in his base width. He's not as bold and as powerful in his upper hip. If we could give that one more natural and sincere skeletal width and hip dimension, he could be the class winner because I think there's a ton of good in that type of weather. Very similar pair here in 4 and 5. I think both of these sheep are packed full of muscle. They're sheep that have some width and just kind of general feed efficiency or a kind of a feed efficient look, if you would. But for me, they're too low to the ground, don't have enough stretch and look and balance from the side. Very nice sheep, though. Congratulations to those young ladies. I like the back shape that your sheep has. This one, guys, is really muscular all the way down his top. He touches lean and hard. Commend you on getting him right from a condition standpoint. He just gets a little bit flatter, a little more refined in his bone work. Good pair of sheep here, guys. I think they're both sheep that have some rib cage. They've got some natural muscle in them. For me, it's kind of down low in terms of their feet and legs. We like to change some things structurally, change their balance a little bit, but they both handle good. They are both very appropriate in their finish. Congratulations to y'all. Excellent job on this class. Congratulations. Put your hands together for them.
Results. Results of Class 1, medium wool. First place goes to 357, Carter Barrick, Splendora Jr., FFA. Second was 353, Avery Cheshire, Magnolia West, FFA. Third was 352, Woodrow Knox, New Caney Jr., FFA. Fourth was 351, Tristan Gage, New Caney, FFA. Fifth was 355, London Johnson, New Caney, FFA. Sixth was 350, Aaron Mack, The Woodlands, FFA. Seventh was 354, Haley Higginbotham, The Woodlands High School, FFA. And eighth was 356, Madeline Rodriguez, The Woodlands, FFA. We're still looking for exhibitor 363, Julie Thornton, and 367, Cara Pozo for Class 2. This is Class 2 medium wool, weight range 140 to 147. Exhibit number 358, Madeline Reeves, New Caney Junior FFA. 359, Celeste Madrid, The Woodlands High School FFA. 360 is Jalen Dodd, Montgomery FFA. 361, Emily Gallen, New Caney Junior FFA. 362, Macy Morris, Splendora Junior FFA. 363, Julie Thornton, New Caney FFA. 364, Taylor Bohack, Montgomery FFA. 365, Carson Camp, Champion 4-H. 366, Brianna Moreno, Conroe FFA. And 367, Cara Pozo, Magnolia 4-H. First call, Class 3, exhibitor number 368 through 376. First call, Class 3, medium wool. Move to the holding area. We need exhibitor 369, Cameron Eccles, into the holding area. 369, Cameron Eccles, into the holding area.
I'm going to go ahead and confess right now I broke pattern on what you may find me do. Use a sheep that maybe isn't the things that I really get excited about from the side. But I'm going to tell you this one, and you take these top three again. Three exceptionally nice sheep up here in the top three. And to me, as I don't know if I've ever matured, but matured as a judge, it's about weighing totals. And sometimes there isn't necessarily my kind, but which one is the best animal. And for me, I like this one. I think that when you put muscle on a skeleton and still are able to handle it correctly on the walk, I think that's something to admire. And I think this one's got the highest degree of muscle from the top of his shoulder all the way back. He's definitely the biggest in how his leg drops down low into the lower part of his stifle. And a sheep that I think his best look is when he's out on the walk and handles his feet and legs and his top line. I think his chest to flank balance is better loose than it is stopped. And a sheep that I think is probably the best in terms of his handle and hardness to the touch. A sheep that I think, for me, he probably doesn't line out as smooth as we would draw on a white 8x11. But for me, a very high quality wether that's got a muscle and a flexible kind of skeleton that handles it square on the go. I like this one probably the most in terms of the way he props up from the side. To me, he's tall-shouldered, a sheep that's actually really good in terms of his neck and how it comes into the upper part of his blade, dead level, one that I think has the better progression from his chest back to his flank. And I tell you, I will admit, that one is very impressive in terms of his loin edge and how big that sits down on his body. My issue with him, and it's just an observation, is when he gets out on the walk, he closes up too much from behind, his back legs get too narrow, and I don't read him with as much inner leg shape as compared to the class winner. And so because of how he walks and because of his lack of dimension, I'm going to go ahead and stick him second, but a very competitive pair here, guys. Congratulations to those girls. Coming next, I like this one an awful lot. In most classes, he could be the winner. I think that sheep is smooth. He's proportional. A sheep that has a high degree of balance from the side. For me, he's the flattest of all of these in terms of just width of skeleton, his rib cage. He's a little heavy in terms of his finish, and he's a little flatter in his body, so I don't read him as sincere in terms of power. And when you get out on the walk, I think that's where his chest exposes himself just a little bit longer in his shoulder blade, and that's where I fault that one, but not to take away from a very smooth, very well presented wether. Coming next, big topped, really muscular as you read him down his spine. I love his hip and rump shape. For me, he's just a little bit shorter in terms of his neck, plainer in terms of his shoulder, but you got to like the muscle that he's packed onto his frame. Awfully good job to you, young lady. I like this blue wether an awful lot. I think from a rib shape standpoint, he's good. From a levelness and squareness of the hip, he's really good. One that I think has the basic fundamental pieces to be one that you get excited to put on feed. For me, he's probably just a little bit soft and plain in terms of his handle. We got him just past 12 o'clock. If we could lean him down, harden him up in his touch, he could climb the ladder quite a bit. Congratulations to you, young lady. Different extreme here, kind of Mutt and Jeff. Long, extended level, really good sheep, just needs more width and dimension all the way through his body. A sheep that's balanced and smooth, has the right kind of silhouette and lines. You just study him in terms of just crease and shape and hardness. I don't think he's as athletic as the others, but a very nice wether nonetheless. Coming next, I think a couple of sheep here that have some muscle, have some basic build. For me, they're a little plain in their overall side view profile, but I like them awfully well. And again, a big, long body kind of sheep. I like his touch up high. Like to balance him up from the side view just a little bit. Good class, so reward these kids if you would. They're doing a heck of a job.
Results of Class 2. First place goes to exhibitor 360, Jalen Dodd, Montgomery, FFA. Second goes to 365, Carson Camp, champion 4H. Third was 362, Macy Morris, Splendora Jr., FFA. Fourth was 361, Emily Gallen, New Caney Jr., FFA. Fifth was 358, Madeline Reeves, New Caney Jr., FFA. Sixth was 367, Kara Pozo, Magnolia 4H. Seventh was 364, Taylor Bohack, Montgomery, FFA. Eighth was 366, Brianna Marino, Conroe, FFA. Ninth was 359, Celeste Madrid, the Woodlands High School, FFA. And 10th was 363, Julie Thornton, New Caney, FFA. This is Class 3, weight range 148 to 151. Exhibitor number 368, Savannah Moore, New Caney Jr., FFA. 369, Cameron Eccles, Winner's Edge, 4H. 370, Christina Jasinski, Willis, FFA. 371, Ryder Lira, Splendora Jr., FFA. 372, Ainsley Ross, Magnolia West, FFA. 373, Brooklyn Christopher, Willis, FFA. 374, Vanessa Moore, New Caney, FFA. 375, Elizabeth Paget, Montgomery High School, FFA. And 376, Hannah Tague, Lake Creek, FFA. First call, Class 4. First call, Class 4, exhibitor number 377 through 385. Come to the holding area. First call, Class 4, 377 through 385.
commend the young lady right here for her effort. Had a wrestling match out there, but she stuck with it. Heck of a job to her. I tell you, there's give and take in these top three. I'll tell you the one that there's give and take. I'm going to slow myself down a little bit, I guess, and where my mind was going. But I like this weather an awful lot to start the class. I think when you get him planted and just kind of get him locked in place, that's the one that's got a show weather look from the side. His forward to flank balance is the best of these top three. He's one that is very impressive in terms of his handle, his squareness down his back, his muscularity over his loin. He's got a big sweeping turn from his leg from the side. A sheep that I think is athletic and still youthful. And I tell you, I think just kind of the right kind in terms of his look and right kind in terms of his touch. For me, the challenge is, and I just get really hard on ones that roll up in their loin, and the way he handles his back leg as he's floating around the outside, it's more of a rigid, kind of restricted step. His loin jumps up in him just a little bit, and that's where I get critical of him. But for me, you got to start weighing totals, and I'm going to accept that and realize that he's got all the other right pieces. I want to like your sheep the best when he's on the outside of the ring. He gets and handles his skeleton probably the best. He's really smooth in how he handles his top line when he's out on the walk. A sheep that's proportional. He balances. He's got width. He's got muscle. For me, Bud, the problem is we just were too aggressive with the feed can, I guess. He's just too fat and too soft when I put my hands on him. I'm just going to draw the line and say he's got too much bark on his tree for me, but a very powerful sheep. A little bit lower stature compared to the son, but I like him awfully good in terms of his fundamentals, just too soft when I get my hands on him. Coming next, I probably like yours the most in terms of just what he could be. I think that's a sheep that's got quality. He's got look. He's got a really neat kind of silhouette to his body. For me, he's just too stale. When you get your hands on him, he's not 12 o'clock. That sheep was probably ready 30 days ago, and I get that we're late in the spring. That is a very high-quality weather that probably just isn't quite dialed in terms of his handle. But a good job to you. I would pick that one out if I was sorting through baby lambs, no doubt about it, because he's got all the right kind of pieces. Coming next to weather, there's a pair of them that are close. I think there's a difference in muscle content, especially in the base of their leg. But both these sheep are tall-fronted. They're very smooth and well-balanced from the side. I just like the dimension that you have from behind comparatively to the one next to you. Coming next, young lady, I think that sheep touches back with some expression in his loin, a one that has got a big rack sitting in front of it. I just wish that sheep was more relaxed in his top line. He kind of gets high in his spine, doesn't allow you to get him leveled out and shown just like some of the others, but a very good job on bringing a sheep that's well presented, no doubt. Blue Weather, very muscular, stout. Got, just kind of a volume, capacity, kind of rugged built sheep that's too plain from the side. Like to level him up some. A sheep that I think is probably leveler in terms of his rump shape, very expressive in the base of his leg. You just kind of see his skeleton gets loose and doesn't hold it together, particularly on the walk and how he handles his back leg. But a nice sheep, no doubt. I like him standing right behind him and how square he is. Good job to you again. We just need to make your sheep leveler, a little bit wider underneath. But he's long, he's attractive from the side, and you did a heck of a job feeding him and getting him here today. Congratulations to you. Put your hands together for these kids, guys. They're doing a great job.
Results of Class 3. First place goes to number 369, Cameron Eccles, Winner's Edge 4H. Second was 371, Ryder Lyra, Splendora Jr. FFA. Third was 376, Hannah Tague, Lake Creek FFA. Fourth was 375, Elizabeth Paget, Montgomery High School FFA. Fifth was 374, Vanessa Moore, New Caney FFA. Sixth was 370, Christina Jasinski, Willis FFA. Seventh was 372, Ainsley Ross, Magnolia West FFA. Eighth was 373, Brooklyn Christopher, Willis FFA. Ninth was Exhibitor 368, Savannah Moore, New Caney Jr. FFA. This is Class 4. Weight range 152 to 155. Exhibitor number 377, Drew Cheshire, Magnolia West, FFA. 378, Morgan Christopher, Willis, FFA. 379, JoJo Davis, Trails End, 4H. 380, Colin Curry, Champion, 4H. 381, Carson Denton, Splendora FFA. 382, Emily Pippin, Splendora FFA. 383, Braden Eccles, Winter's Edge 4H. 384, Ashley Pippin, Splendora FFA. And 385, Molly Gallen, New Caney Jr. FFA. First call, Class 5. Exhibit number 386 through 394. Move to the holding area. Class 5, Exhibit 386 through 394. Move to the holding area. Looking for exhibitor 392, Dustin Gallen, into the holding area. 392, Dustin Gallen, into the holding area.
I'm big on first impressions, and I guess when this one hit the ring, in my mind, the three words were built for speed, and I like that one an awful lot. I think he's got the right kind of just aura about him as he walks in. A sheep that I think lines out really nicely from the side. I'm not going to claim that he's perfect in terms of the shape of his body, but that one's got the right kind of silhouette for me. One that I think is powerful, not overwhelming in terms of shape, but powerful. He's smooth. He's tall-fronted. He's got fuzz and just kind of the dimension underneath to match the pretty from the side. And I think that there's lots of good in that general kind. Congratulations to you. I think this sheep in second is incredibly impressive in terms of handle. And I will just like to kind of interject here that this is a great class. Like, you get ag teachers, parents, county agents, whoever, wonderful depth through this class. I think it's really a testament to your guys' programs because there's some good animals packed in here. But this sheep, really great in terms of his smoothness and power up high. A sheep that's probably got an advantage in boldness to the lower part of his body. I love the drop that he has into his leg, particularly from behind. I just wish we could kind of let him travel with some more freedom off of his rear leg, give him some more stoutness on his rear leg, and if we could do that, he could be the class winner because I think there's all kinds of value in one that's got that kind of density to his muscle pattern. Coming next, a sheep that when we get him uphill and driven, I think that sheep matches the class winner in many ways. He's tall-fronted. His chest-to-flank balance is really good. I think that sheep's got some muscle content sitting in him. Here he's a little flatter and doesn't quite do it for me. We need to get him going and get him back and put together. But I think that sheep's got some value and quality from the side. Blue sheep is really good. Fresh, and I mean, this sheep probably is the most ideal in terms of his leanness and just a carcass cutout that he may offer. I liked the way this one touches. For me, that sheep is balanced and smooth and complete. He probably is just too flat when you study the dimension that he offers in terms of his lower forerib, too flat in terms of his hip and lower leg. If we could give that one more muscle, especially from behind, he could be a player up high in this class. So congratulations to you. Coming next, balanced, smooth, complete, just needs more crease and muscle content, packed up high and from behind. A sheep that I think here is really big in his hip. He's got some leg. He just gets a little bit longer and plainer in the type of shoulder and scapula that he sets on his body. But a very nice sheep that's got some muscle and good in him. Coming next, I like the balanced look that your sheep has from the side. When you're stopped and implanted, he lines out and is proportional as I'm looking at him here. For me, the problem is when you get him loose, he kind of drops out of his front end, doesn't handle his back leg quite as good, and it's on the move that he becomes a quicker sort, but a very nice sheep, no doubt. This one's got the freak factor in him. He's really up in his chest, really extended in his neck. For me, he's just too raw and kind of gets a little piecey in his top line. You put a little more, condition on that one, and that one could become really a different sheep. I think he's got all the wow, but just probably not complete enough to get up any higher today. Very powerful. I think there's a ton of muscle, a ton of good, and that kind of stoutness and ruggedness and just burly that he's got. For me, it's just too rough and just kind of coarse and how it puts it all together. But a good class, guys. Congratulations. I'm having a heck of a day out here. It's fun. Reward the kids if you would, please.
Results, Class 4, first place goes to 377, Drew Cheshire, Magnolia West, FFA. Second goes to 384, Ashley Pippin, Splendora, FFA. Third goes to 381, Carson Denton, Splendora, FFA. Fourth goes to 385, Molly Gallen, New Caney Jr., FFA. Fifth goes to 382, Emily Pippin, Splendora, FFA. Sixth goes to 383, Braden Eccles, Winner's Edge 4-H. Seventh goes to 380, Colin Curry, Champion 4-H. Eighth was Exhibitor 378, Morgan Christopher, Willis, FFA. And ninth was 379, JoJo Davis, Trails End 4-H. This will be Class 5, weight range 156 to 160. Exhibitor number 386, Brooke Seal, Splendora, FFA. 387, Zoe Ducereau, Magnolia Jr., FFA. 388, Grace Dolan, Magnolia West Junior FFA. 389, Danae Lesner, champion 4H. 390, Annabelle Carpenter, Montgomery High School FFA. 391, Hannah East, Willis FFA. 392, Dustin Gallen, New Caney FFA. 393, Amanda Wilder, Magnolia West FFA. 394, Tori Rutherford, Magnolia FFA. First call, Class 6. Exhibitor number 395 through 403. Move to the holding area. Class 6. Exhibitor 395 through 403. Move to the holding area.
We've had some deep trios today, and I guess in all honesty, this is probably the easiest class winner that I've had today. And I think just in terms of livestock and general build, if this was a barrow or a steer, he's just kind of good stock. He's the one that's square and true at the ground. He's the one that handles his skeleton with freedom and flexibility as he gets out on the walk. And I think he packs a lot of muscle onto a skeleton that's still smooth and proportional from the side. I like the way he touches. I like his general balance. A sheep that I think has a robust turn to his rib cage. If I could make that one better, I think he could be kind of ratcheted up an inch or two in terms of the top of his shoulder. But for me, I think just true in his foundation, true in his build, a good kind of animal. For me, the one in second probably counters him. I think your sheep has an advantage in terms of being taller fronted. I think he's definitely longer necked. A sheep that I love, the drop and the round shape that he drops into his lower stifle. I think there's a ton of good in him. For me, when you study that one, I don't think he's got the center body, or at least the lower forerib shape, not necessarily flank, but lower forerib shape that the other one does. I don't think he's quite as smooth as the other one, but I love how tall-shouldered he is, and I love the stifle shape, really good silhouette that he offers. Congratulations to this young man. Coming next, a wether that I think when we get the right look on that sheep, he's one that can really put it together. He lines out, he's level, he's got muscle. He's a sheep that's good from his chest to his flank. He's just a little awkward in how some of them pieces come together. We don't get the most out of him on the stick, but I think there's an animal underneath there. We just got to read into what he is today. Coming next, a wether that I think is very balanced and smooth. I mean, there's not a deviation in his top line one. A sheep that's up in his chest floor just needs more hard muscle content packed onto his frame for him to get up any higher today. We could stouten him up at the ground a little bit, but I like his overall kind. Coming next, a wether that I think has some shape working out of his spine. He's a wether that's very expressive right behind his shoulder. He's got a very muscular leg, just too frail at the ground, kind of incorrect in how he handles his leg posture, especially in his hock, but a nice wether, no doubt. I like your sheep an awful lot, miss. From the side and when you're stopped, I think he's one of the better ones in the class. For me, how he walks on his back leg, he kind of throws his back leg and just doesn't handle it with the most security. But for me, a sheep that is still planted, very good. He's level, very correct in his chest to flank balance. A sheep that's got some levelness out of his hip as well. Coming next, the pattern, the side profile, all outstanding, A+ in that regard. We just need to give him more width at the ground, width from behind, and he could climb the ladder quite a bit. Congratulations to you. A muscular, very good touching sheep that's got the right kind of skin and handle. For me, he's just too closed up from behind, too frail at the ground, just a little rough in how his top line comes together. But you got a lot of muscle sitting on that one, and he's very correct in how you got him fed today. Congratulations to you. Young lady, you've got a long-bodied sheep, a sheep that you're doing a whale of a job getting him shown. I think your showmanship is fantastic. For me, he's too piecey. He kind of gets ewe-necked, a little rough in his spine, but I commend you on your demeanor out here and the way you're working with your wether. Excellent job. Congratulate the kids, if you would. A really great class.
Results of Class 5. First place goes to exhibitor 386, Brooke Seal, Splendora, FFA. 392 was second. That's Dustin Gallen, New Caney, FFA. Third was 388, Grace Dolan, Magnolia West, Junior, FFA. Fourth was 390, Annabelle Carpenter, Montgomery High School, FFA. Fifth was 394, Tori Rutherford, Magnolia, FFA. Sixth was 393, Amanda Wilder, Magnolia West, FFA. Seventh was 389, Danae Lesner, Champion 4-H. Eighth was 391, Hannah East, Willis, FFA. And ninth was Zoe Ducereau, Magnolia Junior, FFA. This is Class 6, weight range 161 to 162. Exhibitor number 395, Hunter Gregory, Shining Star 4-H. 396, Garrett Jones, Splendora, FFA. 397, Alexis Krochek, New Caney, FFA. 398, Catherine Elise Pozo, Magnolia 4-H. $3.99 Alley Riding, Trails End 4-H. $400 was Callie Pasinchek, Lake Creek FFA. $401 Addison Riding, Trails End 4-H. $402 Skylar Scott, New Caney Junior FFA, and $403 K Thomas, New Caney FFA. Market lamb exhibitors, if you do not make the sale with your lamb and you want to put it on a stock trailer, will be a trailer out front of the barn. They're offering $1.75 a pound for your lambs. He's right out front of the lamb pens. Class 7, exhibitor number 404 through 412. Need to move towards the holding area. 404 to 412. Move towards the holding area. That's Class 7.
settle in on this one pretty quick. I could get on board with this one in terms of just his general presence from the side. A sheep that I think is really athletic in terms of his chest floor to flank. A sheep that I think is very proportional in terms of his balance. And then I think when you get your hands on him, he's got a big square shape in his back, one that's really level, almost too level in his hip, and has plenty of lower leg. I think there's lots of good in that one's width at the ground as well. I think, if you could maybe pick the edge of his loin up just a little bit, but there's no doubt that he's the winner in this particular class. Looking forward to him here in the drive. Coming next, a wether that I think is wild and out in terms of his body. I could advocate for that one, Silhouette, and his chest to flank proportion all day long. A sheep that is very muscular in his back. I think he's got a great touch, a great skin and hide. The young lady does a tremendous job getting him shown. Just not as much burliness at the ground in terms of his foot. Doesn't have as much dimension in his leg, particularly from behind. But that one from the side, whew, it's fun to look at him. Coming next, a wether that I think is kind of a different speed. He's got tons of muscle. Oh, sorry about our awkward. I don't know what to do with my hands. Wether that I think is really powerful in his back. He's got the biggest leg in this class. You can see it bulging out there in his lower stifle. Wide, stout, just too rough and kind of coarse in the way he puts it on his body. Good job to you, young man, though. That's a very nice sheep. Coming next, a wether that I think is very good in terms of his chest to flank balance. He's very correct in his rump shape. For me, he gets a little bit easy behind his shoulder, doesn't handle with the same kind of muscularity that the top three do. So I sorted him there, but very nice sheep, no doubt. Your sheep from the side, I like his balance. He's got a bold center body. I love the dimension he progresses back into his flank with. A sheep that's got a good turn to his stifle. For me, he's too soft in his touch, doesn't have that shape and hardness down his spine when I put my hands on him. A little more straight and rigid on his skeleton as well. I wish we could let his, I guess how he walks, get out and travel just with a little more ease, but a good job to you. Your wether, long-bodied. He's just a knucklehead to show. If we could get a better look at him, I think he can move up 2 or 3 spots. I think he's got a really good balanced look from the side. Just question his width and muscle content, especially as we got to the upper end of this class. Tall-fronted, really level, a sheep that's too flat and doesn't have enough width of dimension in him. I wish we could soften his flank up some, like the Silhouette, though, no doubt. Coming next, a wether that's got muscle, just too long in his shoulder, a little too round in his hip, frailer at the ground, but you got to like his rib cage, got to like his muscle, and I think there's a lot of value in that general kind. Coming next to wether, young lady, I think you've done a great job out here showing. Your effort has been top-notch. I think your sheep probably doesn't balance as good as some of the others, but your effort out here is really what this is all about. Congratulations to you.
Results of Class 6. First place goes to 395, Hunter Gregory, Shining Star 4H. Second was 402's Skylar Scott, New Caney Jr. FFA. Third was 396, Garrett Jones, Splendora FFA. Fourth was 397, Alexis Krochek, New Caney FFA. Fifth was 403, Kay Thomas, New Caney FFA. Sixth was 401, Addison Ryden, Trails Inn 4H. Seventh was 399, Alley Ryden, Trails Inn 4H. Eighth was 400, Callie Pasinchik, Lake Creek FFA. Ninth was 398, Catherine Elise Pozo, Magnolia 4H. This is Class 7, weight range 163 to 168. Exhibit number 404 is Lauren Sanders, Oak Ridge FFA. 405, Journey Mathis, Willis FFA. 406, Jackson Davis, Trails Inn 4H. 407, Kristen St. Clair, Montgomery Jr. FFA. 408, Kenley Waldrop, Champion 4H. 409 Bailey Wolf, Champion 4H. 410 Kylie Gregory, Shining Star 4H. 411 Chelsea Fry, Splendora FFA. 412 Lauren Pasinchik, Lake Creek FFA. First call, Class 8, exhibitor number 413 through 421. Move to the holding area. Class 8, exhibitor number 413 to 421. Move to the holding area.
I guess in confession, I'm going to cross over my own line a little bit with the class winner here. This one's Pastern, and his running gears are really not very good. I'm just going to say it like it is on that. Like, his pasterns bother me. But outside of that, I don't know if there's another sheep in here to beat him. And I think from there up, he is by far and away the best one. That one's body and muscle and handle. I mean, I dig that sheep from his hock up. The problem is he's just not very good below that. So I'm going to use him to win this class. I think it's going to affect him later on, but I love that sheep from there up. He is a really cool dude. His pasterns are a big concern. And that being said, I think you did a tremendous job. Congratulations. I'm not trying to damper the mood, but from there up, man, that is a good sheep. I just struggle with his pastern. Coming next in second, silhouette-wise, you brought this one to fit me because he is up-fronted. He is shallow. His flank drops down in him. I love how smooth that sheep is. The problem for him, he's just two-dimensional where we need to have three dimensions. And I think as you spin around this one, he doesn't have enough muscle when you get right in behind him. He doesn't have enough sincerity to his width of chest in terms of his boldness to it, or lack of boldness to his lower body. If we could put more animal and width under that sheep, he could be the class winner, no doubt. I just think he's too flat for me, but I love the pattern that he offers. Congratulations, young lady. Tremendous showmanship out here as well. Good job. In terms of just meat animal, and I don't like this judging term, but meat animal shape, I'm going to use it. That is the market animal out here. He is stout, he is wide, he is muscular, he's balanced. For me, he's just one that's probably kind of middle of the road in terms of a lot of those areas, and he gets a little bit plainer in his shoulder, a little rougher in his top. I think there is a tremendous, there's so much good in that sheep. You ought to be proud of him. For me, though, he's just too plain, and that's why I stuck him in third. I like this kind an awful lot. He is up-fronted, really sleek looking from the side. I love his handle and his touch. For me, it's his back leg that slips him to 4. As he gets around the outside of the ring, he's just got too much set to it. It gets up underneath him a little bit as he moves. But that sheep, in terms of how tall he is at the top of his shoulder, his muscle content, excellent work. I'm proud of you. Really fun to look at that sheep. This is a good sheep right here. Really attractive from the side, really long-bodied, a sheep that I think has muscle shape, but probably not volume. I think if you could get that one to have a little more width all the way through, he could climb the ladder quite a bit because he's got the right sort of pattern. He just doesn't have enough animal stacked within that frame. Coming next, a big hip sheep that's got density to his lower leg, got muscle working on the upper part of his spine. For me, though, he's just a little bit longer shouldered, a little more mature in terms of the plate that he offers down there in his breastbone. But I like your lamb an awful lot, especially when I get around the back end of him. Good job to you. I like your weather in terms of his touch. He's muscular coming out of his shoulder blade, a sheep that I think is really good in the center portion of his body. It's on each end that I question him. Not quite perfect in how his neck ties in. Back leg becomes a little suspect, but that center portion of him is really nice. Good job to you, young lady. Level, balance, got some depth of body. A sheep, though, that gets a little bit lower in his neck setting. A sheep that needs more muscle shape and crease when you study him from behind, but a very, very proportional one. Young lady, I think your sheep is awfully nice. For me, it was a structural issue that slid him down where he's at. I like him propped up, and there's no doubt when he sits there, he does a really good job. It was just kind of too rough and kind of piecey in how it came together when I got that look at him. But a good job. Good class, guys. Congratulations to these kids.
Results of Class 7. Exhibitor number first place goes to 405, Journey Mathis, Willis, FFA. Second goes to 410, Kylie Gregory, Shining Star, 4H. Third was 408, Kenley Waldrop, Champion, 4H. Fourth was 411, Chelsea Fry, Splendora, FFA. Fifth was 409, Bailey Wolf, Champion, 4H. Sixth was 406, Jackson Davis, Trails Inn, 4H. Seventh was 404, Lauren Sanders, Oak Ridge, FFA. Eighth was 407, Christian St. Clair, Montgomery Jr., FFA. And ninth was 412, Lauren Pasinchik, Lake Creek, FFA. This is Class 8, weight range 169 to 176. We start out at Exhibitor 413, Ellie Doss, Lake Creek FFA. 414, Lauren Hyen, Montgomery FFA. 415, Kalia Johnson, Montgomery FFA. 416, Carly Rogers, Montgomery High School FFA. 417, Lindsey Sessom, Splendora Junior FFA. 418, Caitlin Meister, Magnolia West FFA. 419, Addison Schillings, Lake Creek Junior FFA. 420, Madison Witt, Magnolia 4H. 421, Lauren Tague, Lake Creek FFA. First call, Class 9, Exhibitor number 422 to 426. Move to the holding area. Class 9, Exhibitor 422 to 426. Move to the holding area.
Right there. Perfect. Side side profile. Perfect. The first third of this sheep is probably my favorite of the day. I think that sheep is pretty flawless in the way his neck comes into his shoulder blade. A sheep that I think is so cool in terms of his chest floor and how it drops back down into his flank. I like the handle that he has coming out of his shoulder. From behind, I think that sheep could stand just a fraction more punch and power, but I think the silhouette that he offers, the uniqueness he offers, definitely one that is a tremendous class winner. Congratulations to you. Coming next, I think this is a close placing here between second and third. I like the build and the trueness that this sheep handles his feet and legs with. I think that sheep's wide and square. I think he's got a volume and a mass to his muscle content that's impressive. To me, he's a little softer in terms of his handle. I wish we could trim him down and make him have more crease in his back. But I think his width, trueness in terms of feet and legs, and then how smooth he is in his top line is advantage compared to this one that's in third. Your sheep gets a little bit tighter in his loin, kind of handles his back leg a little bit funny, but I tell you what I do like. He is very impressive in the handle. When you get your hands on him, he's got a shapely turn to his rack, a sheep that's very muscular down low, and I think has the advantage in terms of leanness and trimness when you compare him to the one that sat in the two-hole. Congratulations to you, young lady. Your sheep, very powerful. I think there's all kinds of muscle working all over that one's body. For me, he just doesn't balance as smoothly as some of the others. He gets a little bit down in his front end, kind of has more depth to his chest and lower plate, but a very muscular sheep that's just kind of bulky in the way that muscle sits onto his frame. Coming next, I like your sheeps in terms of the density that he has out of his hip into his lower leg. He's tremendously stout, a sheep that's got some real foot size, not as much wool, but real foot underneath him. If we could level that one out, kind of shapen and sharpen him up in the front third of his body, he could climb up quite a bit higher because that is a very good kind of market animal. Congratulations, young lady. Really probably the most attractive one from the side, or at least follows the pattern of the class winner. But the problem is he doesn't offer as much muscle to go with it. Really cool lines, but just a little bit flatter in the way his muscle sits onto his frame. Congratulations, though, a whale of a show animal. Coming next, a sheep that's very proportional from the last two-thirds of his body. He's got too much shoulder and depth in the way his scapula sits on him. A sheep that you could open up in terms of his width, but a very nice one from his shoulder back. Coming next, I like the balance and the pattern that your sheep has in terms of just being smooth in his top line. He just gets too straight in his hock and kind of more jammed up in his front end for me. And it's really that hock placement and the lack of shape he has in his stifle is why I grabbed him so quickly. But I like his smoothness up high. Young lady, long-bodied kind of sheep that you're doing a good job in terms of your effort out here. His back leg isn't coordinated enough as he gets out on the move, but a very nice weather. Congratulations. Congratulate him with a round of applause, please. It sure has been fun.
Results of Class 8. First place goes to 415. Kalia Johnson, Montgomery, FFA. Second goes to 420. Madison Witt, Magnolia, 4H. Third was 414, Lauren Hyen, Montgomery, FFA. Fourth was 421, Lauren Tague, Lake Creek, FFA. Fifth was 416, Carly Rogers, Montgomery High School, FFA. Sixth was 418, Caitlin Meister, Magnolia West, FFA. Seventh was 413, Ellie Doss, Lake Creek, FFA. Eighth was 417, Lindsey Sessom, Splendora Jr., FFA. And ninth was 419, Addison Schillings, Lake Creek Jr., FFA. This is Class 9, medium wool, weight range 178 to 204. Exhibitor number 422 is Jacob Ducereau, Magnolia, FFA. 423, Rosemary Roth, Montgomery, FFA. 424, Lily Martinez, Willis, FFA. 425, Trinity Brandom, Splendora Jr., FFA. And 426, Sarah Brandom, Splendora, FFA.
It's not the first time I've been the biggest problem in the room, and apologize for the kids for changing the pattern and confusing them. But I'm going to go ahead and use this one to lead the class, and I love that sheep. I think he's a good rascal. The way that one balances, his feet and legs when he's planted look excellent. He handles fresh for a sheep that's big. I think that's a good rip. Congratulations to the young lady. This one in second. Biggest sheep in the show. Young man does a good job getting him held majority of the time. He's still fresh. He's lean. He's trim in his muscle. I think that's a really good sheep that lines out very well from the side. Just really, really big. So congratulations to the kid for maintaining him and keeping him youthful all the way to this end point. And a tremendous job to him. You should be proud of a heavyweight like that. The blue sheep, most muscular sheep in the class. I think he's got all kinds of carcass value. One that's very impressive when you get your hands on him. Just doesn't balance quite good enough from the side profile compared to them others, but you should be proud of the weather you brought today. Lots of good in that kind. Coming next, a weather that's bold in his upper rib, stout and productive, little plainer in terms of his muscle shape, but you got to be commended for your effort getting him presented today. Great job to you, young lady. Young man, excellent weather. He's stout, he's bold, he's rugged, just a little rounder in the front and back end areas, but a good sheep, no doubt about it. Congratulations. Let's put our hands together for these kids, guys. They're doing a great job.
Okay, exhibitors, fixing to go into the selection of our champion medium wool, but we also want to go ahead, we're going to try to go ahead and speed up the process and get our champion fine wool and reserve champion fine wool, pull them up close. We need you into the holding area, the champion fine wool and fine wool cross into the holding area. So when we go into the grand champion drive, you'll be there. Out of class 1, I need back in the arena. We're going to call the first and second from each class. Class 1, I need first place, 357, Carter Barracks. Second place, 353, Avery Cheshire. Out of class 2, exhibitor 360, Jalen Dodd. Exhibitor 365, Carson Camp. Out of class 3, exhibitor 369, Cameron Eccles. And 371, Ryder Lira. Out of class 4, exhibitor 377, Drew Cheshire. And 384, Ashley Pippin. Out of class 5, exhibitor 386, Brooke Seal. And 392, Dustin Gallen. Out of class 6, 395, Hunter Gregory. And 402, Skylar Scott. Out of class 7, 405, Journey Mathis. And 410, Kylie Gregory. Out of class 8, 415, Kalia Johnson. And 420, Madison Witt. And out of class 9, 425, Trinity Brandom. And 426, Sarah Brandom. That's your first and seconds from each class of medium wool. Do I have a representative from Blue Ribbon Club Lambs or the Splendora FFA Alumni here at the show? Okay. Blue Ribbon, you're presenting the grand buckle when we get to that portion of the show. Splendora FFA Alumni, you sponsored the Reserve Champion buckle. We'd like to have a representative here to present it. I need exhibitor 345, Savannah Cannon, and 346, Bailey Cheshire, into the holding area. That's your champion and reserve champion Southdown or Fine Wheel Cross class. Need them into the holding area.
Two years ago, I got the privilege of coming to join you guys and kind of a fill in. I forget what happened with the other judge, but I got to come down and stepped in, and I was crazy impressed with what you guys brought to the table. And they weren't necessarily for me in terms of how you gathered them up and put them together, but I knew coming back with the quality of livestock people in this community and the kids and the way they get it done, I was really excited to come back today, and it didn't disappoint. So thank you guys so much for a wonderful afternoon and a lot of fun that it's been to be here. I tell you, I guess going back 2 years ago and the way things have changed, I tell you, it's a privilege and something not to be taken for granted on what we're able to do and what these kids are working to strive for. And I don't want to go too far into a big speech, but I tell you, I grew up an ag teacher's son, and I'd spent a lot of time driving around, and we called it the Blue Bomber, and it was a beat-up old Ford that we go to judging practice and go to trips. And I tell you, I've had some conversations with friends lately, and there's a lot of high-dollar sheep around the country selling online and some of those things, and I would just encourage you guys, load up with your kids, get your ag teacher to take your kids and get them out on the road and go make relationships with breeders. As a cub lamb breeder of myself, it's just really fun to build those relationships. And we talk, a lot of judges, I'm doing this for the kids. Well, if that's true, then I guess put the proof where your mouth is, or however that saying goes. Take the kids with you and get them the experience, the relationships, the contacts, have them involved in the projects and the selection process. I think that's really important. The other thing, just for the kids, I'd say in life, don't be afraid to fail and take risks. I think there's a lot of things that we try and do where we're afraid to reach on out there and go for greatness, and those great moments only happen when you're not afraid to expose yourself to vulnerability and challenge yourself with either selecting your own lamb or showmanship or whatever it may be. But I guess my point is challenge yourself, and when it gets hard, the hard is what makes it great. And the harder that it is, the more fun it becomes and the more rewarding that it is. So enough of that. I've had a great time. Really appreciate you guys letting me come back and sort them. There's 4 sheep here that I am really fond of, and I'm just going to describe those just real quickly. The sheep come in with the young lady in the black shirt. That one I called him built for speed, and the way he came into the ring, and his lines and proportionality are outstanding. He's super smooth. I love the way he runs uphill. I think he's a sheep that's got some volume of muscle working out of his hip and leg. When you get from the side, I just question, I guess, to be honest, the boldness to his lower body. Like is his rib cage bold enough down low? But from the side, he's does so many things very, very well. I commend that young lady on picking one that is definitely a player today. This one is a different kind. That sheep is a little more moderate, lower to the ground, but in terms of true squareness and true width and boldness to his rib, I love him. In terms of his handle and his muscle content, I love him. I think there is just a ton of good in that sheep. I wish we could pick up his front end like I described, but I think that kind will never go out of style. This sheep is probably the one that's maybe the most for me, I guess, in terms of just the illusion of what he is. He's long-necked. He's very well balanced from the side. I think his silhouette is outstanding. You know, that sheep, I think, handles his feet and legs well. He's got chrome. He's pretty. He's got muscle. I like his handle coming out of his rack, maybe as good or better than anything. If that one could be better, I could fix his loin some. But I think that sheep is awfully fun to stare at from this vantage point. Congratulations to the young man on a good one there. I like the heavyweight. For a heavyweight to be that fresh, that youthful in his rib cage, still acceptable in how he puts his handle together. I love his stoutness at the ground, his feet. I think that sheep is really complete. He's awfully big. I wish he was a little bit wider from behind and how he naturally stands, but he handles his skeleton good. And when you get him locked in place, I can get on board with that one. So honestly, these 4, you have different guy. It may be a deeper conversation. I'm going to show you the 2 that I like. Thank you so much for the ability to share my opinion with that tremendous set of sheep, guys. Congratulations to these kids. Put your hands together for them.
Your breed champion goes to 395, Hunter Gregory, Shining Star, 4-H. Your reserve breed champion goes to Brooke Seal, Splendora, FFA. Okay, you first and second place, y'all stay close to the arena because we're going to go into the sale order after the selection of the grand. We're fixing to go for selection of the champion lamb of the show. I need back in the arena. Out of the breed 1, Southdown Fine Wool Cross, I need 346, Bailey Cheshire, Magnolia West FFA, and 345, Savannah Cannon Willis FFA. Out of the medium wool, I need 395, Hunter Gregory, and 386, Brooke Seal, back into the arena.
I think breed divisions are good, and I hope that people will reach out and grab a few more off breeds, and so that way you get classes and divisions that are big enough that they could have a breed to their own. I think there's a ton of value in that. I wish, as a general rule, in Texas we had more breeds and opened up some things for Dorsets and Suffolks and so forth. But that being said, commend you guys. These sheep are really nice. These off breeds, I think they balance. They've got muscle. But there's just a different element that these medium wools bring to the table. I'm going to stick with these two for Grandin Reserve. Congratulations to these young people.
Give us just a second. We're getting our paperwork together. Okay, Market Lamb exhibitors. We're fixing to start in a sale order. Do we have a judge or is he making pictures? Clint, is the judge taking pictures? While they're in the back taking pictures with the Grand and Reserve, we're going to go ahead and get set up for our sale order. Our sale order, we already have the top 4 spots. Your grand champion overall was the medium wool, exhibitor 395. Your reserve champion was the medium wool 386. Your champion fine wool went third at 346. And your reserve champion fine wool was 345. That's the top 4 spots. We'll now select 16 more spots for the sale and 5 alternates. From the South Down Fine Wool Cross class, I need exhibitor 347, Jacob Pena, back into the arena. In the medium wool class, I need exhibitor 357, Carter Barracks, into the arena. 353, Avery Cheshire to the holding area. Class 2, I need 360, Jalen Dodd into the arena. 365, Carson Kemp to the holding area. Out of Class 3, exhibitor 369, Cameron Eccles into the arena. 371, Ryder Lira to the holding area. Class 4, exhibitor 377, Drew Cheshire into the arena. 384, Ashley Pippin to the holding area. Class 5, I need 392, Dustin Galen into the arena. 388, Grace Dolan to the holding area. Class 6, I need 402, Skylar Scott into the arena. 396, Garrett Jones to the holding area. Class 7, I need 405, Journey Mathis into the arena. 410, Kylie Gregory into the holding area. Class 8, 415, Kalia Johnson into the arena. 420, Madison Witt to the holding area. Now to Class 9, I need exhibitor 425, Trinity Brandom into the arena. And 426, Sarah Brandom to the holding area. If we have any committeemen close by, we need some volunteers out here in the arena. If we have any committeemen, we need some close by out in the arena. Okay, exhibitors, I'm going to call the roll and you tell me you're here. Jacob Pena. Carter Barracks. Jalen Dodd. Cameron Eccles. Drew Cheshire. Dustin Galen. Skylar Scott. Journey Mathis. Kalia Johnson. Trinity Brandom. Y'all just relax for a minute till the judge gets, there he is.
Four, 2, 5.
425 just went fifth. That was Trinity Brandom. I need 426. Sarah Brandom into the arena. 424 Lily Martinez to the holding area.
3, 7, 7.
377 was Drew Cheshire. She just went number 6. I need 384 Ashley Pippin in the arena. 381 Carson Denton to the holding area.
Four, 1, 5.
415 Kalia Johnson from Montgomery FFA just went number 7. I need 420 Madison Witt into the arena. 414 Lauren Hyen from Montgomery to the holding area.
Three, 6, 9. 3, 6, 9.
369 was Cameron Eccles. I need Ryder Lyra into the arena. And Hannah Tay, exhibitor 376 to the holding area.
Three, 6, 0.
Exhibitor 360 just went 9th. That was Jalen Dodd, Montgomery FFA. I need 365 Carson Camp into the arena. 362 Macy Morris to the holding area.
Three, 5, 7.
357 was Carter Barracks. He just went 10th. I need exhibitor 353 Avery Cheshire. And I need 352 Woodrow Knox to the holding area.
Three, 6, 5. 3, 6, 5.
365 was Carson Camp. She just went number 11. I need 362 Macy Morris in the arena. 361 Emily Gallen to the holding area.
Four zero five. 405.
405 just went 12th. That was Journey Mathis, Willis FFA. I need exhibitor 410, Kylie Gregory in the arena, and exhibitor 408,
392.
Kenley Waldrop to the holding area.
392.
392 was Dustin Gallen. He just went 13th. I need 388 Grace Dolan into the arena. 390 Annabelle Carpenter to the holding area.
Three 384.
384 was Ashley Pippin. She just went 14th in the sale. I need 381 Carson Denton into the arena. 385 Molly Gallen to the holding area.
Three 362.
362 just went 15th. That was Macy Morris from Splendora Junior FFA. I need 361 Emily Gallen into the arena.
371.
Hold on just a minute. So I need 361 Emily Gallen into the arena for the last one. I need 358 Madeline Reeves into the holding area. Now, which selection was that?
371.
371 was Ryder Lyra. I need 376 Hannah Tague into the arena. 375 Elizabeth Paget to the holding area. Is that Hannah? The 376?
Four 402.
402 just went 17th. That was Skylar Scott, New Caney Junior FFA. I need 396 Garrett Jones into the arena. 397 Alexis Krochek to the holding area.
Four two six.
426 with Sarah Brandon, Splendora FFA. I need 424 Lily Martinez into the arena. 423 Rosemary Roth to the holding area. This will be 19th spot.
410, 410.
.410 just went 19th. That was Kyler Gregory, Shining Star, 4H. I need 408 Kennedy Waldrop into the arena. 411 Chelsea Fry to the holding area. This is the last guaranteed spot. This is the 20th spot.
.396, 396.
.396 was Garrett Jones, Splendora FFA. I need .397 Alexis Krochek into the arena. 403 Kay Thomas to the holding area. This will be for selection of the first alternate.
.361, 361.
.361 just went first alternate. That was Emily Gallen, New Caney Jr., FFA. I need exhibitor 358, Madeline Reeves, into the arena. Exhibitor 367, Kara Pozo, to the holding area. .358, Madeline Reeves. Anybody see a lamb coming?
.420, 420.
.420 just went second alternate. That was Madison Witt, Magnolia 4H. I need 414 Lauren Hyatt into the arena. 421 Lauren Tate to the holding area.
.414, 414.
.414 just went third alternate. That was Lauren Hyatt, Montgomery FFA. I need 421 Lauren Tague into the arena. 416 Carly Rogers to the holding area.
.381, 381.
.381 was Carson Denton, Splendora FFA. His went fourth alternate. I need Molly Gallen into the arena. This is for the final alternate selection. The lambs that are in the holding area are released back to the barn.
408 408.
Fifth alternate went to exhibitor 408. That was Kenley Waldrop, champion 4H. With that selection, that concludes the sale order. Junior Showman. We're fixing to have a showmanship competition. It's $5, winner take all. You present $5 at the gate. Winner takes all the money. Juniors are 13 and under as of today. Exhibitors and parents, if you made the sale or you're an alternate, you need to be back in the arena following the selection of the senior showman. We will have a sales meeting. I'll need a parent and the exhibitor back in the arena. That's all the lambs who made the sale and the alternates. Once again, lamb exhibitors, if you did not make the sale and you wish to put your lamb on the trailer, there is a trailer at the front of the barn. We have a bid of $1.75 a pound for those lambs that are going on the barn, on the trailer. Junior showman. Junior showman, you need to be in the holding area. Junior showman. Junior showman, if you're 13 years of age and under as of today, you're a junior showman. We want to thank all the committeemen that stepped forward and helped us in the arena, and also the Queens contestants that helped us in the arena. Thank y'all very much. Junior showmanship, we're opening the gate. $5 at the gate, winner take all. Open the gate and let's start the show. Showman, our jackets for today's competition, the Junior Showmanship jacket sponsored by the Montgomery County Fair Association Golf Tournament, and the Senior Showmanship jacket sponsored by Greg and Marcy Hope. Now, there will not be a jacket here today to be presented. What you will get a form that you have to fill out, bring back to the fair office with your size and information, and they will order the jackets for you. Senior showman, start moving towards the holding area. Senior showman, come to the holding area.
This is a tremendous set of junior showmen. Put your hands together. Cheer for them, guys. I truly do enjoy showmanship, and it was something that we drilled a lot at the house with Dad coaching on me, and I always didn't take the criticism or the critiques as well as I maybe should have, but I know the effort that these kids put forth to get to this level and to be this polished is something to admire. So congratulations at a young age. I know that you guys have put forth the work and the effort, and I think that's fantastic. I kind of made a sort or a sift on that, and the kids on that side of the ring, really good job. I mean, there's a lot of kids that are going to have great careers ahead of them, no doubt about it. There's things and subtleties with the way you execute your body placement and hand positioning, feet placement that can get you into this elite group here. And then and between these, I think there's differences in the way they go about executing their task at hand. Young lady in the front here, I think she is fantastic when she gets out on the walk, when she leads this sheep. And if you watch her, how smooth she is, she just floats around the outside of the ring. And I think your walk is your strength in terms of showmanship right now. We need to do better on your feet placement. You don't get the back leg square. Sometimes he's locked out in his hawk. We just need to work on executing the fundamental things right there. But your walk is really great. I think you could stand up just a little bit more in your walk. You have an intensity. You can see it in your eyes. You're here to win, and I think that's great. I love competitive spirit in a youngster. There's times where you're probably just a little too tense, and you get that sheep's neck fighting you a little bit. He's a little bit lower fronted, but really good job. I appreciate how hard you're working. I think we could just maybe soften it back just a little bit, make it a little smoother in how you go about it. You're the other extreme. You are really smooth. I mean, your demeanor out here is just like steady water or like the surface. I forget what the saying would be. I'm going to stop rambling, but really smooth is my point. Sometimes you could probably use just a little more fire and go in you compared to some of the other kids, but you execute the little things exactly right every time, and I can appreciate the consistency at which you get your sheep set. Congratulations to you. Young lady, I don't know how you're doing it. You have a hard sheep to show. That sheep, and just the way his skeleton design is the hardest one out here to show, and you are doing a absolutely fantastic job. I am super proud of your effort. Folks, whoever's on this kid, get her one that just relaxes and gets a little more showmanship sheep, because she's got all the good in terms of talent. The sheep's hard to show, and I think she has absolutely delivered out here given what she's working with. Congratulations to you. Young man, same for you. You're doing a really good job. When you get him locked in place, that is a good sheep. You guys your partnership together is absolutely picture perfect. There's times where you're not as efficient or as smooth, but you've got a big animal and you're a little guy. But when you're locked in place, man, you're going to have years and years of success ahead of you. You on the walk are probably the one that I think gives me the look that's like, hey, I'm here to win. When your eye contact and the way you come into the ring, I think that can't be taught, and I think that or taught, and that is a really a skill that, or I guess an innate talent that you have. We need to do better about getting more out of the sheep. We never get him to drive and fire and go uphill into you. I don't know how to describe it. It takes some more effort at home in terms of training with the lamb. Rearrange your lower body positioning and get more go in that weather. But in terms of just your eye contact and the it factor that you have, very, very good. Young lady, you have it as well. I think you're fantastic. I would love to have you come show weathers from me or at my house one day. You probably do you could improve in terms of executing the feet placement. You've got the upfront positioning, the hand placement. You get them pop, lock, ready to rock, but you just don't get the feet right. And if we could do that, you're going to win a lot of showmanship competitions, just not today. I think the person out here that did a fantastic job and working with the hardest weather, young lady, you're my champion. Congratulations to you.
Your champion junior showman goes to exhibitor 384, Ashley Pippin, Splendora, FFA. Juniors are released at this time. Senior showman, you need to be in the holding area. Senior showman, you need to be in the holding area.
I tell you what, this is really tough. And if I could do like a nose goes kind of thing on having to pick a winner out of this, I would do it. Hey, there's a lot of good kids out here, and I've got a deep set of them. I think there are some kids that need to be recognized. We're going to excuse this group so we can sort through them others. Young lady in the purple, you've brought it all day long. Really good. I just think you're not as compared to what we've got on the other side, you're not going to be as efficient and just as polished as what they are in getting them placed and locked in. But really good showman. I think you're talented. You've done a really nice job here today as well. Congratulations. Both of you two in the red shirts, really good. I think that there's nothing fundamentally wrong with what you did. There's just a threshold that we're getting to with some of them others over there. So, guys, congratulations. I really appreciate your hard work. I'm going to go ahead and excuse this group real quick. Give them a round of applause if you would, please, and we'll work through this older set. I'm super proud of your kids. Let's reward them and clap for them if you would. Cheer, hoot and holler. I'm telling you, this is a lot of fun, and it's beyond difficult. But I from the most sincere place in my heart, commend you guys for the talent you have out here. This is a really good lineup of 10. I think these kids are absolutely outstanding. I mean, showmanship's a hard thing to judge, and we talk about the subjectivity in it or whatever. And then you're also trying to make some decisions based on the sheep that they're holding, because there's some of these things that are like built to show, and they just line up and they prop up and the sheep are pretty, and other kids are working with a structure that maybe doesn't have that as an advantage, and it makes the job difficult. And I think that there is a tremendous amount of talent. There's a tremendous amount of competitiveness out here that I admire and appreciate in these kids, and I really appreciate the effort that they've put forth throughout the day. Thank you to the fair for having me back. I was lucky to be able to share my opinion for whatever it's worth, and I think you guys brought a great set of sheep. So there's some special kids out here. I'm going to pick your champion, but I just want to call out just a couple that I think are really good. This young lady ahead of me, she is fantastic. I think when she gets it in place, there's none better, and really commend her. When she's right there dialed in, and that looks the part. Young man's done a whale of a job. You are so smooth. You've done a really, really just kind of a fault-free performance out here today. Young lady right here, she's intimidating. Like, her eye contact and intensity, she is out for business, and I think that's pretty cool. She's got a sheep that's a little bit harder to show, but the effort that she puts forth on the walk, her eye contact and posture when she's in place is really great. When you get that big old thing gathered up and picked up and in place, you do a wonderful job as well. I love that Weather Still, and he's a big animal to bounce into position. So I think those are some highlights. I think they've done a great job. My favorite one, again, and I don't try to make a habit of this, I wish they had the sheep to show, but I think this girl has been absolute dynamite in how she goes about her business and does it with an intensity that almost makes me nervous to approach her. But you're my champion showman. Congratulations to you.
Champion senior showman goes to Lauren Hyan as exhibitor 414 from Montgomery FFA. With that, that concludes the 2021 Market Lamb Show at the Montgomery County Fair. Exhibitors, want to thank y'all for coming out. Parents, y'all be safe on your way home. Remember, if you made the sale or you're an alternate, you need to come back in the arena. Give you about 5 minutes. I'm going to call you up. We need a exhibitor and a parent back into the arena.